Are you ready to stop the self-sabotage and create the life you desire? Well, in order for that to happen, you need to break free from the bad beliefs that are holding your success hostage. You need to optimize the stress by turning it into extra energy for success. And those hurtful habits? Well, we need to give that pain a purpose for progress. Welcome to Stop the Self-Sabotage and Create the Life You Desire podcast. Why don't you have what you want? The body, the bank account balance, the love, the friends, the support, the growth. It's not because you haven't been working on it, that's for sure. So why is it that success can seem so hard to get, and then once you grab onto it, it's so hard to keep? I want you to remember this. You will never outperform your inner identity. And your inner identity is based on four things that we're going to go over in just a moment. See, what you want plays by a different focus, a different value, a different set of rules, a different set of actions than what you're currently experiencing. And you see things the way you are right now, not as they are in reality. You see things the way you've been programmed and conditioned to see. And those are two different things. So let's start with the programming. Your very powerful mind, known as the subconscious, it runs all of your habits and patterns, and success or failure is simply a habit or pattern. Well, it has to have programming installed for what it is that you're going to receive and achieve in life. Notice how I receive first. Most people feel like they've got to work so hard to achieve. Cannot do that until you take in what you're going to need for your journey. Okay, so 80% of who you are as an adult was accepted by age 8 based on those around you who had authority. And so they filled you with different focuses and feelings and actions of what they felt like you needed to experience, not to bring you out at your best, but for them to be okay. And now that programming continues to run. Well, here's the challenge. You go have a goal, turn that dream into your reality. Well, if it doesn't agree with the original programming, then you will pervert your progress down to the pain that you experienced in your past. So you can have that great relationship and then find it's falling apart. You can't seem to get along anymore. Or, yeah, you've been working so hard, taking the actions with the exercise and eating the way that you need to, and then you go on a binger. And the bank account balance, well, that'll never exceed what you believe you're truly worth, what you're valued at, which is the reason why over 80% of lottery winners that take a one-time payout are bankrupt within 7 years. They'd got to go back down to that familiar zone. And that's what your programming has been put in place to do. Some people call it what is it, a comfortable zone, comfort zone? No, there's nothing comfortable about being stuck and struggling. It is a familiar zone based on the programming. So you need to know how to upgrade that programming because it's never going to go away. So you need to begin to upgrade it on what you want to experience, which is the you, the real you that can go after those goals, get them and keep them, and then go for the next level. But then that's going to be dependent upon your conditioning. Oh, by the way, oh my gosh, if you're new to my world, Dawn Ferguson, certified hypnotist as well as an instructor. I train others to become rapid results hypnotists. And you may find what I'm sharing with you is a little bit different, a little outside of the norm of what you would typically hear from a certified hypnotist who says, oh, let's do behavioral modification with stop smoking and weight reduction. Well, even those two things are there for a reason. Every habit and pattern you have in place has a purpose to it. And you can't just get rid of it because then that the real reason why you're doing those things will find another way to get your needs met. And this is the reason why one self-sabotage behavior leads to the next one, leads to the next one, because you never upgraded the identity attached to the behaviors, attached to the emotions, attached to the thoughts and beliefs. Okay, so conditioning. Your powerful mind, the subconscious, has to have electricity to run off of it. It has to have an energy source, and that is emotional states, which is the reason why your subconscious mind seeks out experiences that's going to turn it on emotionally. Oh, and this is where your conditioning comes in at, because you've been typically conditioned to experience 10 different emotions. Now, depending on who you talk to, there's anywhere between, what is it, 400 and 4,000 different emotional states. Behavioral science, pick one. But 10, that's how many you've been conditioned to experience. 10 out of that wide variety. I mean, ask yourself, when is the last time you experienced zest? Yeah. So, you were conditioned to experience 10, 8 of them negative. 8, get away from something. It might hurt. Drama, crisis, chaos, confusion, just to name 4 that people typically go through. And then with everything that we've had going on in the world, now let's heap on panic, anxiety, overwhelm. Oh, I'm at 8 right now. By the way, I'm not supposed to use the words panic and anxiety because those are diagnosis codes that say you need to be on drugs. I don't prescribe drugs. I prescribe you at your healthiest. So just know, substitute whatever terms that you would use for those two. Whew, there we go. I've just covered my backside. All right. And then you've got 2 progress emotions. Now, some people call them positive and negative. That's not how your subconscious experience them. It says it's either pain or progress, which is the reason why some people can find themselves in a situation that would absolutely overwhelm and flood someone to the point where they're going, freak this, I can't take it. And someone else says, bring it on. I am going to use this energy. You've got to be able to have the subconscious go through conditioning to where you're going to optimize the stress and turn it into extra energy for success to get more done with less effort, because the stress isn't going to go away. So we have to give the pain a purpose. And that's the conditioning. You need to upgrade the conditioning, upgrade how you've been labeling emotions and what they mean, and give it a purpose for progress. The third reason why you don't have what you want, or if you do get it, you can't hold on to it, is because you've been taught to solve problems, not design a life. Well, what's the difference? Solving problems, keep this in mind, the subconscious mind will not tolerate a void. So solving problems is what you were taught to be promoted in life. If you solved enough problems, you got promoted from one grade to the next. If you solved enough problems at work, you got promoted to the next level, and woohoo, more problems to solve. So you've been programmed and conditioned to seek out those problems. How is that different from designing a life? Designing a life is all around an identity. So you cannot have an employee mindset and go into your own business, because then you'll be transferring dollars for hours from one to the next. And then at some point you run out of hours and you run out of dollars. Okay. It's the same way in your career. What got you to where you're at won't take you any further. There has to be an identity upgrade as far as you design things. So, who do you need to be for it? Who will benefit because of it? And then who can assist you with the identity upgrade? So, you fill the space not with, how am I going to do this? How am I going to handle all these problems? Do you think that the leaders in any area, in any industry, go into it by going, oh, yeah, how am I going to handle even more problems? Nope. Those are the ones that it's known as the Peter principle. They get promoted to the point to where they will completely screw things up. They'll never be able to go any further because they're relying on their previous programming and conditioning. And keep in mind that conditioning is like a muscle. Just in the same way you condition your body with how you're going to move, you condition your mind, your heart, and your body with the emotions that are either going to carry you or you're going to carry them. And if you carry them, you can't go any higher because you're dragging behind you too many bags of trash. Okay. So it's designing who you need to be for that next level. You're like, well, oh, that sounds great, but what if I can't do it? You cannot desire it without the ability to experience it, because you'll never desire something you don't already possess. You just haven't had the environment to bring it out. Okay. And then the very last reason why you don't have what it is that you want, your current identity is in complete contradiction with the goal that you want to experience. It is out of congruency with it. It actually denies that desire of what you want to move into. Okay. So you always have to know, this is really good because you always have to know where you're starting. So here's your plan of action. On the physical level, because you have 3 levels that make up your identity: the physical, the emotional, and the level. On the physical, what actions are you taking right now that are keeping you at the same level? And what actions do you need to be engaging in a consistent basis? Because the subconscious mind does identity upgrades not based on results, but by consistent implementation for impact. So, what actions are you engaging in that are keeping you where you're at? And what actions do you need to be taking? Now, I already can hear some of you going, how am I going to do that? I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have the support. The how only comes after the who. You've got to decide who you need to be. And then, because you see things as you are, not as they are, you'll be able to see the opportunities that are around you right now. They're already in your experience, but you are not seeing them because of your subconscious scotoma, your blind spot. You can only see from the level that you're at right now. Okay, so that's the physical level. Now let's move into step 2, the emotional level. This is the level of stories, and you continue to tell yourself the same story again and again and again. Oh, it doesn't matter what I try, it always turns out like this. And the subconscious loves stories. It will always create a story around why something has happened, will happen, or is happening now. There is always a story attached. So look at the story that you've been engaging in. By the way, it's probably going to be a story that's been going on approximately 7 generations in your family. The Native Americans have uh, a saying that we are the sum total of the 7 generations before us. And I don't know, a decade or two, psychology came around and went, oh, did you know that we carry on the family legacy of 7 generations? Oh, so nice for you to catch up. So the story that you were telling isn't going to go away. You just keep stopping at the end of the same chapter. So what's the new story that you're going to want to tell yourself? The old story is still going to show up, but you need to add on. And then the third one, the mental level, beliefs and thoughts. People say, oh, change your beliefs and your life will change. And that is true. But after the age of 13, the only way your beliefs are going to upgrade is through consistent implementation for 91 days, 13 weeks, 3 months. Consistent implementation of taking those actions, as well as consistent emotional optimization around the stories that you're telling yourself. And when the stress does show up, you're actually using it instead of being swamped by it. So the thoughts, this is when willpower shows up. You also have a conscious mind. We've been talking about the subconscious. The conscious mind, the role of the conscious mind is to make a decision. It is your willpower. But most people use it inappropriately as far as making small decisions that are not really going to impact the quality of their life long term. What am I going to eat today? Because you have a fixed amount of willpower. It is limited. There is nothing you can do to get more once it's been used up for the day. And every decision has the same weight to it. So, what am I going to eat today? And I want to be physically fit for this vacation that I'm going to be taking later on in the summer. Actually, going to get back out into life and want to enjoy myself again. And I'm going to need the energy to be able to do that. Using this as an example for you. So, most people will waste the energy and resource on making that smaller decision. Willpower is meant to hold the experience of you at that upgraded identity. That's what it's meant to do. And then it'll fall right into line as far as, well, what am I supposed to eat? What actions am I supposed to take? How am I supposed to have this difficult conversation with somebody that has been crossing boundaries and using me to benefit their life? What is it that I need to do with this relationship and ask for the support I need? How can I increase my self-worth that is then going to up my net worth? All those things will automatically take place when you continue to hold that identity that we talked about earlier as if you're experiencing it now. See, what most people do when they set a goal is they set a goal, like I said earlier, oh, hey, you want to do something this upcoming summer. And now there's space, there's time between where you are and when the goal is going to be. And the subconscious mind will not tolerate a void. So you have to fill it with something. Well, what are you going to fill it with? Well, depending on what you've been taught to value, probably hard work and a lot of struggle to earn your worth. It does not have to be that hard whenever you decide that you're going to value that identity and make it happen today. You're going to start revealing who you really are now, not out in the future. And you continue to hold that experience until it becomes your reality. Now, if that sounds like something that you would like assistance with, the system that is going to allow you to experience this identity upgrade, the mastermind group that you can surround yourself with, where everyone is working on their level of success, whatever it might be. And so they want you to succeed, because then you're going to be able to benefit them with the suggestions for success, because you can see what they cannot, because they're working on their own subconscious scotoma. And you have the ability to work with me. If all of this sounds like, okay, yes, I'd like at least the information on it, and you would like a savings of $100 on this. And I'm going to tell you right now, when you see what the investment level is for right now, and then on top of that, saving $100, oh my gosh. Yes, it's meant to make it easy for you to say yes to your next level of success. But before I give you the information on it, I want to let you know that you could be concerned about making a bad decision whenever you see what it is that I'm offering you. And I get that. What if maybe you are? Then what can we do if it turns out to be the most awful thing that you have ever experienced? Okay, if that happens, here's how we're going to fix it. You just tell me about it and you'll get a full refund. It'll be like it never even happened. Pretty easy. But what if it does work? What if you upgrade your identity to receive and achieve more than you ever thought possible? And you've got the benefit of being surrounded by other women who actually want the best for you. If your gut feeling is right, won't be very long from now that you're going to be experiencing the identity of who you really are, because that's what's been calling out to you. Okay. If this, you're like, okay, what do I need to do, Dawn, for the next step? I don't even have the web page to where it is out to the general public on all of this. That's going to happen March 1st. So what you need to do is you either need to text me or email me Spring into Success. And I will respond back with the hidden web page and your $100 savings code. You need to know that at Monday, what is it? Monday, March 1st? Is that when March 1st hits? March 1st, the savings code isn't going to work, and the investment level on what you see will have gone up. So you either text me Spring into Success at 1-636-699-7791, or email me Spring into Success, also known as SIS, at dawn@drewdawnferguson.com. And I will respond back with the hidden web page and your savings code. Your success, who you really are, it's been calling to you. You've probably felt the energy shift. We're moving into a new season. Your subconscious mind always wants to know what's next. And if you do not give it a purpose, if you do not ignite your passion, if you do not own who you really are, you'll pervert everything back down to your painful past just to give yourself something to do. I'm here to assist you with revealing who you really are. I'd be honored to be the one to make it happen. And if it does not work, then you hit delete on it and you move on to something else. So until we get together again, blessings on your brilliance of who you really are.